So I was playing at the playground today, climbing up on some banisters a little bit high off the ground on the side of the walkway, probably 3.5 meters. So I'm just walking up there, balancing. It's about this wide, okay? And I'm pretty comfortable doing this because I've had some practice and I'm not just sending it, I'm not just throwing myself up there, I'm not being irresponsible. I've assessed the risk by feeling into my body and I'm competent to deal with an adverse scenario by grabbing onto the rail and not falling to the ground. Anyway, a few of us are doing this, maybe 4 of us. And this guy comes up, I think he's wearing his sunglasses, kind of looks a little bit like a ticket inspector or like an undercover cop, to be honest. Don't know what he does for work. That could be an unfair judgment, but he looks like quite a stern dude. Bit of a security vibe. And he says, guys, I don't know if you should be doing that. Maybe he might have phrased it exactly like that, but he's saying, you know, kids are going to copy what they see you do. Kids copy. It's what they do. And do you want them to be copying you? I mean, look what you're doing. You know, it's pretty dangerous. And so the concern isn't that we're going to like hit a kid or fall or anything like that. The concern is that a child might see us, copy, and then obviously fall and hurt themselves. And I understand that if that were to happen, it would be a shame. I wouldn't want that to happen. That would suck. So the implication is that we should get down and stop playing up there, because just by doing that, by expressing ourselves in that way, we're a threat to the kids. The kids seem to love it. They watch and they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. You see the wonder in their eyes and like, look, Dad, look at that. And some of the parents are like, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? This guy, to his credit, did say, yeah, what you're doing is epic. Look, I couldn't do it. It's amazing. But I don't think it's, is it the time and place is what you want to think about. Don't want to be a party pooper, not trying to start a fight, but come on now. So yeah, the dude was all right. He brought it up. Fair enough for speaking like that. But I was thinking, is it my responsibility to alter my behavior when I'm not it's not like I'm out here drinking. It's not like I'm here drinking, fighting, setting a bad example in any way in terms of being unhealthy or not being playful. Like, I'm encouraging kids to play and adults. We're trying to rope in adults to play so that they can regulate their nervous system, so that they can be healthy, learn to assess risk, have a sense of self-confidence and innate joy at a time when you need innate joy because everything else is so unstable. But is it my responsibility to stop? Or is it the responsibility of the parent to help the kid manage these threats? And if the kid is too young to understand danger, then obviously you can't have a conversation with them. But then perhaps you can go down a slide with them. We saw one kid who wanted to go down a slide, and the parent didn't want the kid to go down a slide, so she grabbed the kid's arm, pulled him back, and he hit his head on a metal bar above because she was afraid of him going down, so she pulled quite hard, and then he hit his head on a bar and actually got hurt. Just go down the slide with your kid. So why don't we? Why don't we just play with them so that we can protect them from those things? I know if I saw a kid about to fall, I'd be fucking right there to save them if I possibly could. And then I'd go back and do my thing. But we don't, because it's not normal for adults to play. It's not normal for adults to take part unless they're helping their kids. Adults don't know how to manage these risks in their bodies. They're disconnected from their own bodies. And someone's going to pull their back muscle going down a slide because they haven't done it for 40 years. So the solution then seems to be to palm off the responsibility to someone who hasn't lost that, to someone who's still playing and is still healthy, rather than to guide your kid through the process if they're too young, or to have a conversation with them and help them understand and assess risk if they can do that, if they're a bit older, like 6, 7, 8, 9. It's just to tell the guy balancing, stop doing that. Let's eliminate all of the threats, and then I won't really have to navigate this uncharted terrain myself because I'm a bit scared of it. So guys, just be mindful that there is a great argument for don't encourage kids to do stupid shit. But the question is what I'm doing stupid shit? Or is the stupid shit not developing yourself and therefore not being able to equip your child with the tools they'll need to manage in the world, which is dangerous, because the world is dangerous. And it's equally dangerous to abuse substance, to sit at home and clog up your arteries, not get outside, not play, sprain an ankle because you just never run on uneven surfaces, fall off something because you've never practiced balancing. That's equally dangerous, if not more dangerous, than going out and taking the risk. The risk of inactivity usually outweighs the risk of activity. And that's why we do things like CrossFit, where people get injured. You know, you could drop a barbell on your head. Do we tell kids not to watch that? Do we tell kids not to watch surfers? Furthermore, do we pull surfers out of the water in case they drown and then the kid starts surfing and he drowns? Do we tell people not to drive cars because cars crash and a kid shouldn't like cars, especially not fast race cars, because fast race cars are dangerous? And what if a kid tries to copy it? Some of the most amazing athletes ever were once kids who copied. Some of the most incredible human beings have been kids who wanted to copy. It's what kids do. I agree with you, sir, Mr. Don't Balance up there. Kids do copy. And what kind of future do we want them to have? Do we want them to get to a certain age where they stop playing and start stressing about work and forget health and end up carking it of coronary heart disease, or, you know, especially for males, young males, 25 to 45, commit suicide? Because this is the kind of thing, movement with mates in a park, taking some risk, feeling alive, which sends me away from that dark end of the spectrum where I've been a few times. This is the thing that really gives me so much joy, and it gives me the space to dive into who I am and why I'm here. What's more important? We're all equally important. I'm important, the kids are important, no one's more important than anyone else. So adults, don't stop playing. Learn to understand risk and teach the young how to understand risk and how to live and thrive in this world. But don't shut them down. That's my view. This whole issue, everything we're going through right now, is people are afraid because they don't understand how to manage risk, and they don't understand the body, and they're worried that we can't be freely expressive because it'll harm the greater good. And then there are the people who are saying, no, you just need to learn to live in the world we live in. What do you think? I'd be interested to hear. Comment below, send me a message. Should I have got down off the beam? Should I have kept balancing on the beam? What would you do?